Recent rumors have surfaced that the Chicago Bulls have offered DeMar DeRozan a 2-year contract, and rumors have surfaced that DeMar DeRozan wants more than 2 years on his contract. So now the question is, should the Chicago Bulls let him go in free agency, or should they try to get him in a sign and trade situation? This is Rico Greenhowe, and this is another episode of Bulls Digest. And before we jump into it, let me go ahead and let you know that 75.9% of you guys that watch the videos are not subscribed to the channel. Make sure you hit that subscribe button so you can stay up to date with the latest news and happenings around your Chicago Bulls. And without further ado, guys, let's jump into the video, which is, will DeMar DeRozan be back with the Bulls? All right, guys, so I think that once again, we are headed around the merry-go-round of what are the Chicago Bulls doing, or are we running it? I'm just saying, looks like we're going on the merry-go-round again. But look, with this news, essentially what it's talking about here is that the Chicago Bulls are looking to go ahead and bring DeMar DeRozan back, but it is going to be a 2-year deal, and it is going to be upwards to $40 million. On the other side of this thing, DeMar DeRozan is saying that, hey, that's wonderful, but I want more than 2 years. All right, so now we're kind of in this interesting situation of, all right, we're clearly not going to budge off the 2 years, and he wants more than the 2, but I think in order for him to commit, we might have to actually go ahead and give up some more money to bring him back on just a 2-year deal, guys. And so, look, I think that initially, there's nothing that DeMar DeRozan has done wrong in this situation. Like, I think that DeMar DeRozan has done everything right for us. He's come in, he's led, he's been available on the floor. I think that he's been terrific for Kobe White and Nasumu. I think he's been terrific even for Coach Billy Donovan, because there's a lot of things that we question for Billy Donovan, or question about Billy Donovan and what he's doing with his rotations and everything like that. I think that DeMar DeRozan really helps keep it together by just going out there and literally just hooping and hooping hard, man. Like, he does everything that he can to get us wins, man. And that's what I love about DeMar DeRozan. Sign me up for him on any basketball team, really, that I have. And just the real issue with him is just that he's getting up there with age. I think if this guy were right now if he was 29, I don't even think we would even have this discussion right now, because DeMar DeRozan absolutely deserves to get paid. This is a guy that was right there for the Clutch Player of the Year award. And I just have to believe that, man, if it were not for DeMar DeRozan to close down on some of those games, I don't even know if we're in the play-in at this situation. And I'm not saying that I'm proud of the fact that we're in the play-in situation, but I think because he went out there and he did what he did, I think that that's why the Chicago Bulls were in a terrific position to advance even further than that. But just bringing up the stats, guys, and what is going on with this thing. Look, he wants to resign with us. We want him back, but it is a 2-year deal that they're looking for. It's going to be upwards north of 40 million. Here's what they're saying. But he wants more years. And, the question is, okay, so if he wants more years and he doesn't get more years, then it's like, okay, does DeRozan look to go to another place to get those years, but he might have to take lesser money? And I'm not sold on the fact that he's going to do that at this point in time. I think that the best case scenario for him is probably to go ahead and stay with Chicago, guys. And looking at what he's done with his numbers and things like this is why you love DeMar DeRozan, or you have to love what he does, man, because look, he's available for a lot of the games out there. I mean, this guy is there, he's available. And I can't get over the fact that he plays hard. He's played a career high in minutes here. I think that the only thing that is scary about giving him more years is that he's at 34 right now. Clearly, we don't want to get into a situation like Vooch, where if we go ahead and we give him more than 2 years, and then the same thing that's happening with Vooch now, and he takes a major decline, we're in a bad situation. We're in a bad contract. And I think that DeMar DeRozan has to know that. And I get that he's got to go out there and he's got to make the best business decision for himself. But if he wants to have a chance to win some games over here with Chicago, I think that, he's got to take the fewer years and go from there, But again, if DeMar DeRozan left in free agency, I'm not going to be mad at that. If he went and said, look, I want to play for the Lakers or the Clippers at that matter, wouldn't be mad at that at all. And going back to a story that was out there earlier this week about him possibly playing with the Clippers, and it being something like a sign and trade deal, like I absolutely would love to do a sign and trade with the Clippers. I don't have a problem with that. It's just that there's certain players that I think would have to come over here. And, I've said that I like Bones Highland to come over here. Some of these players are probably players that are going to be untouchable. Terrence Mann is another guy that comes up. Coffee is another guy that I'm thinking of as well that could come over. I think he's an excellent forward that can come over. Norman Powell and Zubac. Like, those are guys that I'm absolutely interested in a sign and trade situation, especially if the Clippers lose out on Paul George, which I don't necessarily see that happening, but I could see the Clippers trying to go ahead and make something happen if Paul George is going to leave over to the 76ers. So, I think that that's going to be what the determining factor is really in a sign and trade. I think it's going to be, squarely on what Paul George is going to do if, like I said, DeRozan is in a sign and trade. But more than likely, I would expect to see him in a Chicago uniform next year. And I think that they're going to be fine with the 2 years. I don't think that they're going to give him more than 2. And I think that it is possible that they're probably going to give him a little bit more money than they probably should at this point in time. But am I worried about DeMar DeRozan at this age? To be honest with you guys, I mean, the way he takes care of himself, it's up there with LeBron James. And he doesn't even play at the basket like LeBron James, which I got to give LeBron credit there because he's going to the cup. He's still dunking on people and stuff like that. DeMar DeRozan is a mid-range maestro, and so he's still healthy. He's staying available every single game out there for the most part. So, I still like DeMar DeRozan at the 2-year deal, even though we're probably going to pay him a little bit more than what we need to. But I'm okay if a sign and trade does materialize with the Clippers and we get some of those pieces back. So let me know what you guys think in the comments here. Do you feel like DeMar DeRozan should be back with the Chicago Bulls on a 2-year deal? Do you feel like he should be signed longer than 2 years? And if he does sign with us and we go ahead and do a sign and trade, would you like to see it done with the Clippers, or is there another team that you would like to see a sign and trade done with? Let me know what you guys are thinking in the comments. This is Rico Greenhowe, and this is another episode of Bulls Digest. And even though we are doing the whole merry-go-round thing, go Bulls. I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace, peace, peace.